Hello everyone and welcome to a new video. No, you didn't read the title for this incorrectly. I am filming an unhaul, which is my very first unhaul ever. I always said I never unhaul. Well, here we are. It's not exactly what you think, which I'm also gonna write in the title, because I feel like when people unhaul, they do it more properly, but I'm still getting rid of over 50 books, but it's more books that are, what can I say, not books I gone through like here on my shelf and in my fantasy shelf over there. It's more like Norwegian books, etc., that I gotten for different reasons and I don't want anymore. Most I haven't spent money on, which is also why I feel I can get rid of them, but I have spent money on quite a few of them as well. So it's not what you think, but it's still an haul and I'm doing it. I don't know if you're proud or disappointed, you can choose. I feel like now that I started on haul, it would just go downwards, but I'm still not there yet. But there's still books when I go into my shelf after doing this unhaul live in my patrons. There's still books I saw that I was just like, I could unhaul this, but am I ready to do that? This is my first unhaul. I'm gonna try to give the books away to like friends, family, then see to give it away to like free the libraries, etc. And we see what I do with the rest that I can't get rid of. Without further ado, we need to go through all these books. It's gonna take ages, so let's get started. First we have The Hypnotist by Kepler. I actually read this last month in January. I don't remember actually. And I hated it. I gave it 1 star. And I have this really ugly edition that I again got for free from like holiday places that I took because I knew I was gonna read it one day. I am semi-intrigued to continue on because they're really popular books and apparently they get better. But again, I could borrow them in the library because I'm going to read in Norwegian anyway, or I don't want these editions either way, so I might buy other editions if I ever bother spending money, but I'm not keeping this. And also, yeah, I know I gave it 1 star, but like I might just, you know, use the library because it is a Norwegian book. The library actually works then, yay! By the way, I love the library, no shame. I just meant that a lot of the books that I do want to read and stuff, they are not available in my library because I mostly read English, fantasy, etc. Like the most popular ones they do have, but lesser known ones, impossible to find. Okay, so then we actually got like a fantasy book, and that is Battle of the Library by Rick Riordan. This is their 4th book, and the reason I'm unhauling this is because I bought it by mistake. I thought I was gonna getting another edition, and then I spent way too much money on it, and I got it, and I was so disappointed because I had 1, 2, 3 in Norwegian in like these editions, and I thought this would match, but just the English, just a different height. It's kind of like the library binding edition. It is so ugly. I hate library bindings, which I didn't even buy on purpose. And I have now the box sets, and I have no reason to keep this, even though again I spent money on it. This I might see if a library wants, unless someone I know wants it. Then we have After the Winter by Isabel Allende. I don't even know what this is. I think I got it for free at a point when I worked in a bookstore, and then I thought it looked sweet and I wanted to read it, and now at this point I'm just like, it might be like a book I could enjoy and find beautiful and blah 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 blah, and like I think probably give it 3 stars, but I'm just like, no need to spend time and money on it. Money, not money, but I mean time is money, but you get what I mean. So at this point I'm just like, I don't care enough to keep so many of these on this pile, even though I had all the intentions to read it. But I'm gonna write all these books down, and if I ever want to read it, I will use the library because this is Norwegian again, they will have it. And then we have The Year by Thomas Espedal. This is like a poetry collection thing that I always thought was really pretty. Like I really liked the edition, and it is like I won it free when I was like this book a month here in Norway. And again, when I look at it now, I'm like, am I really going on holidays? But then also at the same time, I don't have any interest in it. I just got it for free and I kept it because it was pretty. And I'm just like, I doubt I will love the insides. It's just a book, it's nice to touch. And I'm just like, it's not a good enough reason, but dang it. I'm feeling regret, you guys. Exactly the same as the last one, which is Dream Rider. And this is like a short novel collection. It's like a really like pretty nice book to hold. I think I got it at the same time as the other one. I would probably not even like this, so there's no reason for me to keep it, but I'm just like so well, goodbye. Then I have a random Dan Brown book, which I think also is in the middle of the series. I did at a point want to read Da Vinci Code and all that. This I took from my holiday place because I assumed I was going to read it one day. If I ever read Dan Brown, I would do it in English. It is originally in English, right? The English title is the same. Yeah, it says it is originally in English. So there's that. Then I would just buy them in English. Probably available at the library. Don't have any interest in keeping this one book in Norwegian in hardcover that I would never ever bother buying the rest of in the same one. So we saying goodbye. But do I want to read Dan Brown though? That is the real question. Then we have this book named People by Morten Ramm. This is like kind of an Instagram book. Not like, it's not made from Instagram, but it's like Instagram photos, and there's like a random story he has made of the photos. And we were going to throw them away, and I took one because I thought it looked interesting. I never read it. It doesn't like have the proper cover. That's all I feel. Like, I don't care. I just took it because it was free, and I thought the concept looked cool. But at this point, I don't care. Then we have the Stieg Larsson trilogy. Like, what's it called again in English? And I Hate Women, The Girl That Played With Fire. I think it's called something else in English. Like, it has a movie and everything. And I have been always intrigued to read this series. It's called like the Millennium Trilogy. But this edition is very ugly, and I do want to read it. I have the first one still, which I'm gonna like do a try a chapter thing on. But even if I ever continue on the series, I'm not gonna have this edition because it's really ugly. And I got it used somewhere, and I might buy them in the library. But yeah, it's a series that like people say really good things about, and I don't think it's just like a boring crime series. Hopefully. It probably is, but it's very popular, and I'm curious to read it. But again, library other editions, probably. Then we have a reading example, which I don't even remember if we counted as a whole book. Well, the Snow Sisters is very popular. It's really like a sweet book where like it has 24 chapters, so you're supposed to read one every day up to Christmas. I have the full-length book. I just got this before I got full length when I worked in the bookstore. I had no reason to keep this. Does this even count as unhauling a book? It's like a chapter sample, but it's like, yeah. I'm putting that in a different pile. But I'm still unhauling that. Then we have Sunstone Volume 4, which seems weird to unhaul, but I have it already. But the one I got was ruined. It's like cut off here on the top. So like some of the... Are we opening in a really appropriate page? We are indeed. You didn't see that. Let's open to this page instead. Like on the top it's like cut off so you couldn't read everything. So I contacted them, and then I got a new one. But obviously I just kept this one because I didn't know what to do with it. I'm just going to unhaul it. I don't even know who would want this. But, I mean, it might also just be thrown in the trash. It's just ruined. Then we actually have like a... I was going to say proper English books. It's not like the others books aren't proper. I don't know. But it's We Need to Talk About Kevin by Leon Shriver. Heard obviously a lot of things about this, and I was very interested in reading it. I got like a pretty decent edition when on like a holiday place, and I was planning to read it, but now I just don't have any interest in it anymore. I don't even know if it's actually like a good book or if it's just a book people say is good, and I don't even know what I feel about the concept. Like I kind of vaguely know the concept, and I don't know how I feel about it. So I don't know. I'm actually unhauling like a book that I separate in my mind from the other books here. But I didn't spend any money on it, so there's that. If I ever want to read it, I can get it again, but I feel weird about the concept, so meh. This is a weird one for me to unhaul as well, which is the Crocodile Guardian, which is like a crime novel set in Denmark, and I actually read this, and I got it when I worked in a bookstore. And it's weird for me, really weird for me, to unhaul books that I read that are in nice condition. Like obviously when I got it, it was completely new, and that's really weird for me, because I like to keep the books I read. But this one is a long series now. I don't want to continue, and if I do ever borrow them in the library, I don't want to spend money on them. And I didn't even like this that much, so I just feel like it's time to let go. But it's a weird one for me to let go, because it's the type of book I would have kept forever, but I'm trying to grow as a person, so goodbye. Then we have the SARS Drools by Tormod Haugen. This one I stole from my library. When I was creating the school, I stole this. I don't even know why. I think one of them I just found at home, another one I stole. I don't even know if I did it on purpose. I just found it long after I was graduated, and I didn't bother going back. It's like a Norwegian fantasy book, and I don't have any interest in reading this. It seems like a weird concept in this one as well. But yeah, and it's the same one with the next one, which is called the Dora Place, by Gerd Bantberg. I don't know why I'm saying the name's weird. Again, this one also belongs to my library. This one was recommended by my friend, and then I took it, and I never read them, and I had it for ages, and they don't even feel like my books. As you can see, it's like the library letter on it. Maybe I should just go back to the library now and be like, hey, I found this at home. I know I had them for like 12 years, but do you want them back? Oh my god. Planning to read them, and I never did, obviously. So, Okay, it's not been 12 years. It's been like 10 though. Then we have New Roads, which I go for free in like an event thing. It's like a, what's it called? Family generational thing. And then it's like a whole series. We have like this series, some of them here. And I don't bother reading the rest. And I think I tried like as a sentence in the live to see if I would like it. And it does not seem like something I would love. Like, I think I would feel okay about it, but I don't bother. So we are unhauling it. And then we have this series here, which is like a really popular Swedish crime series. I think I got this from my aunts, and this I got from the bookstore I walked in. And I know I'm not gonna like them, and I just don't bother the effort of keeping these and taking space and then having to read the rest of the series. So I'm letting them go. And these can find a new home. So, yay. Again, kind of got it from my aunt. She had bought these used and it was just like, do you want them, many years ago? I said yes, because I was like, oh my god, 3 books. And then I never even read them. And this is like in the middle of a series. I need to read other books in the series to read them. And again, it was like used. Yeah, I'm sorry, aunt, but she wouldn't care. She gives away her books too. And I'm saying goodbye to this one as well. It's like a crime series thing as well. And it's like the 3rd one in the series. And it's not gonna happen, okay? Can you believe I kept these books for so many years? Intentionally thinking I was gonna read them, and here we are. Then we have Seared by Sandra Gustafsson. I won this in Goodreads giveaway. I finally read it. I absolutely hated it. I didn't understand it. It's even like signed. But I'm not feeling anything for it. Even though the author's name the same as me, we are letting it go. It's weird. Then we have The Help by Catherine Stockett. Assume a lot of people know what is this. I bought the Norwegian edition. That was back when they bought books in Norwegian when I was young. And it's really weird to kind of unhaul it because I actually spent money on it. It was one of the first books I ever purchased on my own with like my new bank card. I remember it very specifically. I have like attached memories to it, but I had it on my TBR now for 12 years. I don't even know, like 100 years. And I don't want to read it. I feel like I'm not gonna like the concept makes me feel weird. So I'm letting it go. Really nice condition as well, because obviously I bought it and then I just kept it, never read it, so it could go to someone else that wants it. But it's weird that I'm letting it go, but I'm not interested in reading it anymore, so I would just keep it for no reason at all and probably get it in like a randomized TBR thing, and I would be like, dang. So now that can't happen anymore. The thing is that now I need to update all my lists, because all of these are on lists and I need to update it, but it's fine. Then we have Jurassic Park by Michael Crichton, I don't know how to say his name, I'm sorry. And I'm reading Jurassic Park. I just don't want this edition because I got it from a friend that bought this by accident. And I just don't want it anymore because it's very, very ugly. And I just hate the whole look. And like, I would not be able to read in it. And yes, I was just going to keep it. I was not even going to read in this. I was going to buy something else and then keep this. But it's too ugly to be kept. I usually keep several editions of my books. It's not a big deal. But this one can be let go and go to someone who would like it more. And yes, I'm still going to read Jurassic Park and I'm very excited too. I just don't want that edition. Then we have all of 50 Shades of Grey, which I have the first one in Norwegian. I got for free when I worked in a bookstore. These 2 I took from Holiday Places, 2 and 3, which actually should be in this order. And I was all intentions, planning to read it. And now I don't think I would ever like them, but I think I would like them even less now. Like, I read better smut now. I don't even think it's good smut. I think if it's just like the first smut that got popular in the way it did and had the subject it did. No plans to read a series. I was just like, well, I could do it for a popular blog, but I don't think it's even that popular anymore, so I don't think people would have cared. If I ever want to read them, I'm sure it's really easy to get a hold of in the library, etc. They would have these in English. But the space these takes, and when I look at them, I just feel nothing. So we are letting it go. I didn't spend any money on it, so I don't feel anything. Then we have like the Travel Home, or I think it's called something else. Rush Home is like their correct title. It's just like old man something. I don't even know. Okay, I don't really care. It's just like, like the historical fiction that's make you feel emotional, blah 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 blah. I can enjoy them from time to time. I have read some of them and I think they're okay. I just like don't care about this. So we are letting it go. And I feel like I would have probably read it. Could I read it 3 or 4 stars? But I don't care. Also, this edition is very ugly. I took it from Holiday Place. And I know people don't care if their books are ugly or not, but I do. So then we have this one, which I read and I got when I worked. Like, I got it for free. And I read it because I want to recommend books where I worked. And it's like a whole like thing. And the synopsis here, uses over half the book to happen, and it was the most annoying thing ever. I was just like, are we gonna get to like something I don't know? It took ages. It was terrible. I think I gave it 2 stars, but it's literally a 1-star read. And now when I look at it, I feel enraged. I am reminded of the time when I worked in a bookstore, blah, 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 blah. And I appreciate that time. But it's a bit like the Crocodile Guardian. I'm ready to let go and not have this and use space. So goodbye. Here we have one that I got when we closed up our store. It's like a YA novel called like a thought out telling about a child. And I thought it seemed interesting, but I just don't care anymore. And I just had like this flashback where actually I think like I hauled this on my channel. And now we're letting it go, which is really weird, but yeah. Goodbye. Then we have The Girl Who Was Left Behind by Jojo Moyes, which is the ARC edition actually of the Norwegian one. I thought it was a bit cool to have it, but I just don't care about Jojo Moyes anymore. And obviously I would just give it away, which is not illegal. But I thought it was cool to have it at the time, and when it came out it was a big deal, and now there's so many books by her, and she's always super popular here in Norway. But I don't care about Jojo Moyes anymore. I have like another one that I never read, but that one is in English and spent money on it, so I might read that one day. Then we have, I think it has an English title, Home Before Dark by Susan Weeks, and I actually got it at a holiday place. I read a synopsis. It's about like a woman who wants to see a child because she's going blind, and I thought the concept sounded interesting like 10 years ago when I took it from the holiday place. I never read it. I think I even started it at a point because it was chosen out to like be my read for that week, and then I never actually continued. So I like kind of almost DNF'd it, even though officially I didn't start it in my head, but I read like a few pages and I was like, nah. And then I'm never gonna read it. I don't care. So we're saying goodbye. Then we have like the helicopter burglary. I don't know the English words right now. It says it is a movie on Netflix by Jake Gyllenhaal. I think it's the one where they're in an ambulance or something. By Jonas Bonnier. And this is the ARC edition of the Norwegian edition. I got it when I worked. And I thought it sounded cool, and now I don't care. I probably won't like it. And yeah, I think the edition looks a bit cool, but it's really like stainy, and we're saying goodbye. Then we have the ugliest edition in the whole world, which is like Baby or Not. I took it from like a holiday place for free. I think it has an English title. I was gonna check. It's called Baby Proof, and it's about this couple that never wants a child, then they want a child, then they get divorced because one of them wants and one of them don't want, and then they get together again and they get a child. And I hated it. I read the whole thing like at a play ride, and I hated it, and I had it for many years, and it just, ew, and it's an ugly book, and it's gross, and I'm saying goodbye. Then we have these that I'm actually a bit unsure about, which is White Ocean and Glass Øyne. This is book 1 and this is book 3 in the series. Number 1 is an ARC that I got, and number 3 is something I found at a holiday place, and it was like a nice condition, so I got it. And I feel like I want to read the series. I feel like I might care about it because I thought this seemed like a cool like novels, like they really like Norwegian, etc. And they really like popular. And then I read the first sentence in the first one. The test if I actually like it. It's about fish! And I was just like, nah, I'm not feeling it. And if I want to read them, they are very much available in a library. And I have other Norwegian books I'm interested in instead. So we're letting them go, even though I feel like I could have liked them, but now I'm just like, nah. Goodbye. Yeah, 13 Reasons Why by J. Asher, which I obviously spent money on and bought, and it's like a English book, even though it's not even like the edition I like. But either way, I hate this book. I hate the TV show. I hidden this away because I didn't want to remember I owned it. I found it now when I was doing this on haul. I mean, yeah, no. I have no reason to keep this. It makes me enraged to just look at it. So we said goodbye and it felt lovely. Then we have this book by Tom Egeland, which is called The Devil Machine. It's an ARC of it. I thought it seemed cool at the time. But again, it's like in the middle of a series of like this detective dude, and I don't care about all these series, okay? I don't. Then we have Open House is Ongoing by Sofia Sarenbrant. I thought it sounded cool because it's like a concept where like you have an open house and then people don't leave and like people get murdered in those houses. And I thought it sounded interesting, but I just don't care about this type of crime books. Again, I can borrow in a library. And I had it for so long now, I never read it, even though like it's an ARC, and I thought the concept seems cool, but I probably won't like it. So, goodbye. I feel like I've repeated myself a lot in this video, but whatever. Then we have like another person walking away, which is like a probably like a touching story. It's called Attempt of Being happy. It's like the whole genre of like an old person because it follows like a 70-year-old person, and like apparently that's a whole genre. We discussed this in the live show. I just don't care about that genre. I feel like I could read it and like enjoy it, but then I'm just like, I don't bother holding all these books in a thing that I don't care about. It's an arc. I got it in bookstore. Blah. Goodbye. Then we have this, The Glass Heart by Torkin Damhaug. We have like this super ugly edition because it's like the arc, and then we have just a picture of the author instead of like anything else. And the like original cover is like okay, and I feel like I maybe could like it. This is just about like, it's like kind of just a novel, like fiction book, but I just don't care. And if I ever read it and enjoyed it, I would never keep this because it's ugly. I just, yeah. And I might just borrow this in the library one day to read it, and I feel like I could maybe like it, but I'm not keeping this. Then we have A Place on the Limit by Emilie Erland. This is like a smut novel in Norwegian, which is like an arc edition, and I read it, and like I didn't love the story, but I did like the smut at the time. But I don't want to keep it. I am gonna just, we talked about this in the live, I'm just gonna find best smut scenes, take pictures, aka write them down, then I'm hauling this. So like we were talking about like I should make like a smut journal, so like every time we read a book and it has a smut, I should just write it in if I really like it, and then I can look at it when I feel sad. Sorry, I'm a bit sick. Either sad or horny, you could choose. And I think that was a great idea, so I'm gonna do that. Then we have The Knife in the Fire by Ingeborg Avola, and this is actually a really new one. I'm like a bit unsure version on Unhaul it, but I read it and I didn't really like it. I didn't really have any reason to keep it, except that it's like a really new one. It's like a new arc, but I read it already, and I'm never gonna read it again, and I want to forget I read it. But so I don't have any reason to pick it. It's just that it feels faster to have it because it's like a new Norwegian book. But now I'm like, nah. Time to let go. Then we have like a book called Letters to Victoria by Marcello Puglia. This one was also a arc, and I thought it looked cute, and it's like letters, something about a dude connecting with his daughter or something. I just don't care anymore. And it's a bit sad to hold it because it looks cute, but I feel like, again, it's just gonna be like, oh, it's supposed to be emotional, blah blah blah, and I'm just like, I don't want emotions anymore. Then we have these, which I feel a bit stupid for unhauling, which is like this Swedish trilogy that is supposed to be like really touching about family, blah 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 blah, but I do think I'm not gonna like them, and like I had really big interest in them when we were in the store, and I was just like, oh, I'm gonna read them, and this is 1 and 2, and I got it for free, and I'm just like, I'm not gonna like them. I don't have any interest in it anymore. I have many other books I could read that we have in the store. This is like the type of genre that I don't really love that much either way, so I don't know why I'm trying. So we are getting rid of them. I might put them back in the bookstore, to be honest, because so someone else can work there that can read them, because I took them from there. I feel a bit bad on hauling. Maybe we should see if like maybe someone else I know wants them first. I'm just like, nah. I don't know why I thought I would like them, but if I change my mind later, I could use the library. There's another like novel about like people in Oslo and fiction thingy, and I thought it seemed interesting, but I was just like, nah. I feel like I would borrow this in the library if I ever want to read it. The only reason I would like even know this book exists is because we got an arc. So I feel like if I didn't have that arc in the store at the time, I would never have heard about it. So I'm like, meh. Not that you cannot enjoy a book you never heard about, but you get what I mean. Here's another book where someone is walking away, and it's called Across 100 Mountains. And I think like, again, it's supposed to be like touching, blah 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 blah, all that stuff. I just don't care anymore, and if I ever read it, I don't think I would want to read it in Norwegian. And blah, goodbye. And then we have Amy and Leo, which is like a Dutch or German book. I don't even know. I think it's original in German. And it's about these two characters that like talk in letters and texts, emails, whatever. And it's like 2 books about islanders collecting this one. I thought I would maybe want to read it and be interested in it. And at this point, I'm just like, no. No, I just don't care enough, okay? Then we have a Norwegian book, which is like Anton and Anna Flokkdyr, which is like a middle grade book thing, and it seems a bit actually very funny and sweet, but I just feel like for me I wouldn't like it anymore. I might give it to my nephew maybe, or just see. I just feel like it's gonna be a bit too young for me at this point, even though like I could enjoy that as well, but I'm just like, nah. Then we have a Norwegian edition of Artemis Fowl. The only reason I'm not keeping this is because actually it was a gift, it says here. Oh, it was a gift to everyone in 2005. They gave it out on like the World Book Day. Oh, that is so sweet. Well, I get rid of it still because I have it in English. I have no reason to keep this, even though it's a bit sad to let it go. 2005. I had this since 2005. Almost sad. Well, we don't care today. Then we have 2 Erica James book, which is like really like lady novels thingies. I read this and it was okay. And then we have this other one about the piano, and I don't care enough to read it. I feel like I'm just gonna read it and be like, yeah, it was sweet, I guess. Gave it 3 stars and never remember it again. It was the same with this. They're nice, like hardcover, they're nice, but we don't care enough in this house. So another lady novel called Him or something. It's like they meet each other 15 years later. So it's like a second chance romance thing. I thought it sounded sweet when I got it, and I got it for free. And now I'm just like, why? Why do I have this? I will not like it. No, we're unhauling it. Okay, so we did not count the like sample thing of the Snow Sister, but that was 50 books, and then we have 2 more, so that is 52. So then we have John Michelet's books, which is book 4 and book 2. I got them all for free, which is why I have them, because they were ruined. And I wanted to read this series. It's like about like a Norwegian dude working on a ship, and it's like really popular about like a certain type of man in Norway, but it's really popular. The author sadly passed away as well, and I feel like I have an interest in them. I just don't know if I bother keeping them on my shelf. There's really huge books, and I don't know when I will read them, but I might just borrow them in a library. They're really popular. My dad talked about like he had interest in them. I might give them to him, but I don't want them here down in my room. And I was gonna read them, and I just like, I feel like the time has passed, and that like I just don't care. So yeah, I just don't care enough to keep them. But if I regret it one day, then we can be sad together. And that was 52 books I'm unhauling, which again, I don't think is what you thought it was, because I feel like most people books here, unless like you're Nordic, maybe you don't maybe care about, but a lot of the books most people don't care about, because it's just books that go for free for a billion years ago and no one cares. And it's time to let them go. Think about all these books that took up space here. In my house, there were so many of them, and we are letting them go. I hope you enjoyed this video. A little on haul actually, which is kind of, it's crazy for me that I'm doing. You should see me soon in a new one. Leave a revealed emoji down below if you enjoyed this, because we're relieved, not relieved. I don't know what I'm saying. But we are getting more space in my shelves. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Check out my Patreon down below if you want to support my channel further, and you should see me soon in a new one. Goodbye!